Announcer bot is active. The qualification session is at Croft Circuit in North Yorkshire, Great Britain. The wind speed is 10 km/h from the north-northeast. Dylan Visagi is second. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands is P1. Danny van Rooyen is up 23.45 in Tower Bend. Danny van Rooyen is up 23.94 in Barcroft. Danny van Rooyen improved his P1 with a 125.244. Danny van Rooyen is up 0.16 in Hawthorne Bend. Danny van Rooyen is up 0.09 in Jim Clark Esses. Ernest Heather from South Africa in Tower Bend is third, up 0.50 on mediums. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Danny van Rooyen is P1. Danny van Rooyen is up 0.14 in sunny out. Danny van Rooyen is provisional pole with a 125.097. Ernest Heather in hairpin is third on mediums. Ernest Heather improved his P4 with a 127.795. 2.698 off pole. Tommy Glad from South Africa in complex is P5, up 0.29 on mediums. Tommy Glad improved his fifth with a 129.043. 3.946 off pole. Danny van Rooyen is P1, up 0.24. Danny van Rooyen is provisional pole with a 124.872. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa in start finish is third on softs. Peter Geldenhuis improved his P3 with a 126.130. 1.258 off pole. Leon van Linden from South Africa in Jim Clark Essies is 8th up 2.99 on softs. Leon van Linden is up 4.72 in complex. Peter Geldenhuis in complex is 3rd up 0.29. Peter Geldenhuis improved is 3rd with a 125.864. 0.992 off pole. Janine Glad from South Africa is 8th up 2.09 on mediums. Janine Glad improved is P8 with a 133.152. 8.280 off pole. Ernest Heather from South Africa in Tower Bend is P5 up 0.29. Ernest Heather is up 0.53 in Sunny Inn. Five minutes remaining in the session. Ernest Heather improved is P5 with a 127.378. 2.506 off pole. Tommy Glad in hairpin is P6. Tommy Glad improved is 7th with a 128.814. 3.942 off pole. Dylan Visagi from South Africa in Jim Clark Essies is 2nd up 0.13 on softs. Dylan Visagi is up 0.15 in complex. Peter Grobler in Jim Clark Essies is P5 up 0.11 on mediums. Peter Grobler is up 0.34 in complex. Peter Grobler improved his 5th with a 126.410. 1.538 off pole. Janine Glad is P8. Tommy Glad is P7 up 0.19 on mediums. Tommy Glad is up 0.64 in Barcroft. Ernest Heather in hairpin is 6th. Ernest Heather improved is P6 with a 127.141. 2.269 off pole. Janine Glad in Clairvaux is 8th. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is P3 up 0.10. Peter Geldenhuis improved is P3 with a 125.645. 0.773 off pole. Janine Glad in Sunny Out is 8th up 1.03. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Mike Gear from South Africa is 4th on softs. Best lap is a 126.259. 1.387 off pole. Announcer bot is active. Tommy Glad from South Africa is first. Mike Gear from South Africa is P1. The race session is at Croft Circuit in North Yorkshire, Great Britain. The wind speed is 11 km/h from the north-northeast. Dylan Visagi is second. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands is second. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is P3 on mediums. Mike Gear from South Africa is fourth. Peter Geldenhuis is fourth. Peter Grobler is fifth on mediums. Ernest Heather from South Africa is sixth on mediums. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Dylan Visagi is first. Mike Gear in Clervaux is third. Peter Geldenhuis is fourth. Peter Grobler is fifth. Mike Gear in Barcroft is P3. Peter Grobler is P5. Tommy Glad from South Africa in Hairpin is seventh. Mike Gear on lap 2 is third, 0.3 behind Dylan Visagi. Janine Glad from South Africa is 8th on mediums, 0.4 behind Tommy Glad. Tommy Glad from South Africa in Tower Bend is 8th. Peter Geldenhuis in Sunny in is P4, 0.2 behind Mike Gear. Peter Geldenhuis is now P3. Peter Grobler in complex is 4th, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis in Hawthorne Bend is P3. Best lap is a 1:26.913. 0.620 off the fastest lap. Peter Grobler in Tower Bend on lap 3 is 4th, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa in Sunny in is 3rd, 0.4 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler in complex is P4, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad in hairpin is P7, 0.5 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Geldenhuis in Hawthorne Bend is 3rd, 0.4 behind Dylan Visaggi. Peter Grobler is 4th, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Janine Glad in Tower Bend is 7th, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Grobler in hairpin is P3, 1.0 behind Dylan Visaggi. Janine Glad on lap 5 is 7th, 1.0 behind Ernest Heather. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Peter Grobler is P3 on mediums, 0.8 behind Dylan Visaggi. Peter Grobler is now 2nd. Leon van Linden entering the pits is 8th. Mike Gear from South Africa is 4th, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad is 7th, 3.0 behind Ernest Heather. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Mike Gear in Jim Clark Esses is 4th, 1.2 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike Gear was 0.6 faster last lap. Peter Grobler in Hairpin is 2nd, 3.7 ahead of Peter Geldenhuis. Mike Gear in Hawthorne Bend is 4th, 0.9 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Leon van Linden from South Africa is 8th. Five minutes remaining in the session. Mike Gear in Hairpin on lap 7 is P4, 0.9 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Tommy Glad in Hairpin is 9th. Mike Gear is 4th, 1.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler is 2nd, 4.9 ahead of Peter Geldenhuis. Mike Gear is P4, 1.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler in Sunny Inn is P2, 4.6 ahead of Peter Geldenhuis. Mike Gear is P4, 1.2 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad is P7. Mike Gear from South Africa in Barcroft is P4, 1.6 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Tommy Glad entering the pits is P9. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands is P1. Ernest Heather in Clervaux is 6th, 0.5 behind Dylan Visagi. Ernest Heather passed Dylan Visagi for 5th. Dylan Visagi from South Africa is P6. Best lap is a 1:26.297. 0.801 off the fastest lap. Ernest Heather is 5th, 0.3 ahead of Dylan Visagi. Dylan Visagi is 6th, 1.4 behind Ernest Heather. Tommy Glad exiting pits. The leader has just finished the race. Danny van Rooyen finished first. Peter Grobler finished P2. Peter Geldenhuis finished third. Mike Gear finished fourth. Ernest Heather finished 5th. Dylan Visagi finished 6th. Janine Glad finished P7. Announcer bot is active. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is P1. Ernest Heather from South Africa is P1. The race session is at Croft Circuit in North Yorkshire, Great Britain. The wind speed is 11 km/h from the north-northeast. Leon van Linden is P1. Ernest Heather entering the pits is P18. Tommy Glad from South Africa is P2. Leon van Linden from South Africa is second on softs. Janine Glad from South Africa is third on mediums. Dylan Visagie from South Africa is P4. Mike Gear from South Africa is P5. Danny Van Rooyen entering the pits is P17. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Tommy Glad is first. Ernest Heather exiting pits on mediums. Dylan Visagie in Clervaux is third. Danny Van Rooyen exiting pits on mediums. Mike Gear is fourth. Leon van Linden is fourth. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is P7. Peter Geldenhuis is now P6. Grobler is 8th. Peter Grobler passed Leon van Linden for P7. Peter Geldenhuis in hairpin is P6. Peter Geldenhuis is now P4. Janine Glad in Clervaux is 5th, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler is 6th, 0.1 behind Janine Glad. Peter Grobler passed Janine Glad for P5. Mike Gear is P4, 0.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Danny Van Rooyen from Netherlands is P9, 0.3 behind Leon van Linden. Danny Van Rooyen passed Leon van Linden for 8th. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa in complex is P3, 0.2 ahead of Michael Gear. Peter Geldenhuis passed Ernest Heather for second. Ernest Heather from South Africa is P3, 0.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike here in Hawthorne Bend is P4, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Dylan Bizaji in Tower Bend on lap 3 is P7, 0.2 behind Janine Glad. Dylan Bizaji passed Janine Glad for 6th. Mike here is 4th. Best lap is a 1:27.334. Mike Gear is now P3. Peter Grobler is 4th, 0.3 behind Mike Gear. Mike Gear is 4th. Minutes remaining in the session. Dylan Bizaji in Tower Bend is 5th, 0.9 behind Mike Gear. Peter Geldenhuis in Sunny in his 2nd, 0.5 behind Tommy Glad. Dylan Bizaji in Complex is 5th, 0.5 behind Mike Gear. Dylan Bizaji was 1.3 faster last lap. Peter Geldenhuis is 2nd, 0.4 behind Tommy Glad. Peter Grobler is P3, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler was 0.8 faster last lap. Dylan Bizaji is 5th, 0.3 behind Mike Gear. Tommy Glad from South Africa in Jim Clark Essies is P2, 0.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis was 2.6 faster last lap. Peter Grobler is P3, 0.2 ahead of Mike Gear. Mike Gear in Complex is 4th, 0.2 behind Peter Grobler. Dylan Bizaji in start finish is P5. Peter Grobler in Hawthorne Bend is 3rd, 0.3 behind Tommy Glad. Dylan Bizaji is 5th, 0.2 behind Mike Gear. Jim Clark Esses is P6, 0.5 behind Dylan Visagie. Peter Grobler in Sunny Out is P3, 0.3 behind Tommy Glad. Peter Grobler passed Tommy Glad for second. Mike Gear is P4. Mike Gear passed Dylan Visagie for P3. Mike Gear lost third to Dylan Visagie. Danny Van Ruyen is fifth, 0.1 behind Mike Gear. Danny Van Ruyen was 1.1 faster last lap. Danny Van Ruyen passed Mike Gear for P4. Mike Gear is fifth, 0.4 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Danny Van Ruyen is P4, 0.4 ahead of Mike Gear. Ten minutes remaining in the session. Mike Gear is P5, 0.9 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Dylan Visagie is P4, 0.4 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Mike Gear in Clervos is fifth, 0.3 behind Dylan Visagie. Dylan Visagie is P4. Best lap is a 1:26.308. 0.435 off the fastest lap. Dylan Visagie lost P4 to Mike Gear. Danny Van Ruyen in Complex is third, 1.4 behind Peter Grobler. Dylan Visagie in Clervos is fifth. Danny Van Ruyen in Jim Clark Esses is third, 0.7 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler is second. Danny Van Ruyen in Hairpin is P3, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Danny Van Ruyen was 0.9 faster last lap. Dylan Bizaji is 5th, 0.1 behind Mike Gear. Danny Van Ruyen from Netherlands is P3, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Tommy Glad in Tower Bend is P6, 0.2 behind Mike Gear. Tommy Glad was 0.8 faster last lap. Danny Van Ruyen in Barcroft on lap 10 is 3rd, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Mike Gear is P5. Best lap is a 1:27.065. 1.192 off the fastest lap. Dylan Bizaji in Hairpin is P5, 0.3 behind Mike Gear. Tommy Glad is 6th, 0.4 behind Dylan Bizaji. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Dylan Bizaji in Chicane is P5, 0.4 behind Mike Gear. Peter Grobler in Jim Clark Esses is 3rd, 0.2 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Dylan Bizaji is 5th, 0.3 behind Mike Gear. Danny Van Ruyen in Complex is 2nd, 0.5 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler in Start Finish is 3rd, 0.5 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Dylan Bizaji is 5th, 0.5 behind Mike Gear. Danny Van Ruyen in Tower Bend is P2, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler is 3rd, 0.5 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Dylan Bizaji in Barcroft is P5, 0.2 behind Mike Gear. Dylan Bizaji passed Mike Gear for P4. Danny Van Ruyen in Hairpin is 2nd, 0.2 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Grobler is P3, 0.1 behind Danny Van Ruyen. Dylan Bizaji is 5th. Danny Van Ruyen in Tower Bend is P2. 0.3 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler is third, 0.4 behind Danny Van Rooyen. Dylan Bizaji is P5, 0.4 behind Mike Gear. Peter Grobler in hairpin on lap 13 is third, 0.1 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Ernest Heather is 8th, 0.4 behind Janine Glad. Peter Grobler is third, 0.2 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Ernest Heather is P8, 0.5 behind Janine Glad. Peter Grobler is P3, 0.2 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Ernest Heather is P8, 0.8 behind Janine Glad. Peter Grobler is P3, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad is 8th, 1.0 behind Ernest Heather. The leader has just finished the race. Danny Van Rooyen finished P1. Peter Geldenhuis finished second. Peter Grobler finished third. Mike Gear finished P4. Dylan Bizaji finished 5th. Tommy Glad finished 6th. Leon Van Linden finished P9. Ernest Heather finished 7th. Janine Glad finished P8. Ernest Heather finished P7. Ernest Heather finished 7th. Ernest Heather finished 7th. Ernest Heather finished 7th.